Today on MUFC Pulse, we'll dive into some incredibly intriguing news. The latest on De Ligt's injury, and Elliot Anderson's thoughts ahead of the clash with Manchester United. For more on this story, check out the video. We also have some equally exciting football news coming up, so stay tuned until the end to catch it all. Welcome to MUFC Pulse. Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell for more updates. Latest news on Matthijs de Ligt's injury. Manchester United defender Matthijs de Ligt will miss the World Cup with the Netherlands after undergoing surgery for a back injury that will keep him sidelined until the start of the 2026-2027 season. Through a social media post, Matthijs de Ligt shared a picture of himself lying in a hospital bed whilst giving a thumbs up. In the caption, the Dutch defender revealed that after undergoing treatment and working incredibly hard for 6 months to recover, surgery ultimately became the only remaining option. De Ligt also could not hide his disappointment at having to miss out on playing for his team over the last half a year and losing a precious opportunity to feature in the World Cup. Nevertheless, he remains optimistic and emphasized his commitment to doing everything possible to get back on the pitch, greet the fans, and fully restore his physical fitness. De Ligt returned to individual grass work last month as he stepped up his rehabilitation, but United confirmed he has now undergone a corrective procedure that has ended his season and World Cup ambitions. Since last November, Matthijs de Ligt has thrown everything into his recovery and pushed himself to the absolute limit in every training session. He actively explored various rehabilitation options to get back on the pitch and do what he loves most, which is playing football. In an official statement released by Manchester United, de Ligt expressed his deep gratitude to everyone who has supported him through this difficult period in his career. Elliot Anderson's statement ahead of Manchester United clash. Manchester United are set to host Nottingham Forest at Old Trafford with a clear mission to cement third place in the Premier League table. Carrick has insisted that his primary focus right now is ensuring the lads finish the season strongly, especially since they have put themselves in a brilliant position and must now hold their ground. Regarding the congested fixture list, he isn't losing any sleep over it, as he reckons his players are well accustomed to handling the intensity of playing week in, week out over the past few years. Looking ahead, Carrick expects twists and turns within the squad, noting that blending experienced heads with the maturity of the younger lads is the natural next step for the club. While he acknowledges that clarity regarding the future is vital, for the time being, he is choosing to focus entirely on getting the team in the best possible shape for the end of the season, whilst remaining philosophical about things beyond his control. As manager, Michael Carrick has reaffirmed his commitment to continuous evaluation and driving improvements across every department of the team, with his main priority being to sort out the midfield. He also revealed his active involvement in the club's strategic discussions, including everything to do with the transfer window. According to Carrick, this hands-on approach is exactly what is required to tick off the club's major agendas, and he emphasized that he is there strictly to deliver on those responsibilities. Ahead of the fixture, Nottingham Forest midfielder and England international Elliot Anderson has found himself squarely in the spotlight. The player, who is highly coveted by Manchester United for next season's campaign, has become a pivotal figure for Forest since arriving at the club. Nottingham Forest are fully prepared to cash in on the heavyweight interest in the 23-year-old midfielder, slapping a hefty £120 million price tag on his head. On top of the skyrocketing price from their initial valuation, United face stiff competition from their neighbours, Manchester City. However, the latest reports suggest that the Manchester United hierarchy are reluctant to get dragged into a bidding war in order to protect the club's financial stability. Whilst the Red Devils do have a war chest available, they prefer to keep a cool head and avoid repeating past blunders of paying over the odds for players who aren't guaranteed to hit the ground running at a massive club. Club legend Rio Ferdinand has highly recommended Anderson as the ideal successor to anchor the midfield following Casemiro's expected departure at the end of the season. According to Ferdinand, Anderson's proven Premier League pedigree is a perfect fit for the tactical intensity required in Michael Carrick's current setup. Nottingham Forest boss Vitor Pereira has openly admitted that he cannot guarantee Elliot Anderson's future at the City ground for next term. This speculation has intensified following the player's stellar displays, having recently rescued the team from defeat against Newcastle United. Pereira expressed his uncertainty, stating he couldn't assure anyone that Anderson would stay put as he simply doesn't have the answers himself. Nonetheless, the manager heaped praise on the lad, claiming Anderson deserves to be at the top of the footballing world, while acknowledging just how rare it is to find a top-quality player with such an exceptional character. Responding to the transfer chatter, Elliot Anderson stated that he is actually quite flattered to be linked with so many big clubs. He mentioned that testing himself at a top club would represent an exciting new challenge in his footballing journey. Constantly improving to become the best version of himself is his main focus as a player, ensuring he keeps his performances consistent on the pitch. Yet, regarding the transfer mill, he remains completely unfazed, choosing to keep his head down, focus on his football, and chase his dream of representing England at the 2026 World Cup. Anderson gave no indication whatsoever that he is trying to force a move or that he is getting distracted by the media circus. The maturity shown by the young midfielder speaks volumes. At an age where most players tend to get their heads turned by transfer gossip, Anderson has displayed top-tier professional commitment to his current employers. He reiterated that any off-the-pitch matters, including contract talks or interest from other clubs, are strictly for his agent to handle. For Anderson, the best way a footballer can prove his worth is through his output on the pitch by delivering week in, week out. Over at Old Trafford, the Manchester United board have made Anderson their #1 priority target to refresh their midfield engine room and are currently in talks regarding the inflated price tag. The coaching setup under Michael Carrick thoroughly admires Anderson's style of play, particularly his high-intensity pressing, and believes he would be the perfect partner to line up alongside Kobbie Mainoo. Promoted club keen on Manchester United midfielder. Manchester United's hierarchy are reportedly prepared to make a massive call regarding the future of their midfielder, Mason Mount, in the upcoming summer transfer window. The Red Devils are understood to be planning to cash in on the player should the right offer or opportunity come along. This drastic step has been taken following an evaluation of the midfielder's minimal contribution since his arrival at Old Trafford. However, the planned sale is predicted to be far from plain sailing due to significant doubts over whether other clubs would be willing to take on the former Chelsea star. One of the main stumbling blocks is Mount's incredibly hefty wage packet, which is making many potential suitors think twice. The Manchester United board themselves are desperately hoping to recoup a transfer fee close to the £55 million mark, the figure they initially parted with to sign him from Chelsea. Given how complicated a permanent sale is shaping up to be, Manchester United are now starting to soften their stance and are open to letting Mason Mount leave on loan. This temporary option is seen as the most realistic solution in the current transfer market climate. The club's brass feel this scenario represents the best middle ground to slightly ease the club's wage bill whilst protecting the player's market value. News of Mount's situation instantly sparked a reaction from a number of clubs, with Coventry City being one of them. The newly promoted outfit have emerged as one of the keenest parties looking to broker a temporary deal to bolster their squad. The presence of Frank Lampard as Coventry's new gaffer adds a unique layer of intrigue, causing the transfer grapevine to go into overdrive. Taking into account all the factors surrounding the midfielder, particularly the fitness woes that have plagued him since his move to Manchester, the Red Devils are ready to sanction a loan proposal. That said, Manchester United will reportedly only let the English midfielder go if the loan agreement includes an option or an obligation to buy permanently at the end of the spell. On the flip side, Coventry City are currently gearing up for a brand new era after successfully securing promotion to the Premier League. Their manager, Frank Lampard, is said to have identified the midfield department as the absolute priority that must be strengthened to ensure they can cut the mustard in the top flight. Consequently, the Coventry board viewed this as a golden opportunity to reunite Lampard with his former protege. A reunion between Lampard and Mount is seen as a major win-win for both parties, especially for the Manchester United midfielder himself. Under Lampard's stewardship, Mount is tipped to get the guaranteed, regular game time that has eluded him for so long. Such an opportunity is deemed absolutely crucial for the player to rediscover his finest form and get his career back on track. Behind the scenes at Old Trafford, Manchester United are indeed prioritizing a complete overhaul of their midfield options this summer, keeping tabs on several high-profile targets. This move is largely down to Mount's situation, having failed to cement a place in the starting 11 under 3 different managers due to persistent injury setbacks and inconsistent form. Despite knowing his position is under threat, Mason Mount himself personally still prefers to stay put and fight to prove his worth at Old Trafford. However, with the club seemingly dropping heavy hints that they are ready to call time on their partnership, a loan deal appears to be the most sensible option for all involved, with Coventry City poised to make an aggressive swoop to secure his signature. On the one hand, a move to Coventry City offers a realistic escape route for Manchester United to overhaul their squad, whilst handing Mount the ideal platform to rebuild his confidence under a gaffer who knows him inside out. On the other hand, the deal hinges entirely on a massive financial compromise. Coventry would have to smash their wage structure to bits to bring the player like Mason Mount. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let us know in the comment your opinion.